Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Alright, I think the audio is working. Yeah, it does look like it's working. Welcome into this live stream we are covering, and I've been talking about this for a while now. Did a forecast video yesterday. We're covering a significant severe weather outbreak unfolding right now, and as we go into the coming hours this evening, even into the overnight hours, the severe weather outbreak could turn into a tornado outbreak as the ingredients are in place for strong tornadoes, giant hail, and some pretty significant damaging winds. Now, if we look at what the radar is looking like right now, this is the main storm that we're covering right now. This is the main storm, kind of the most strong storm that we're looking at right now. And about 20 minutes ago, it did have a little bit better of a hook on it, a little bit better of rotation. But if we look at the rotation, the velocity here, if you're new to this, red is winds going away from the radar, green is winds going towards the radar, and when you get those kind of to meet there, that's where we're going to see that rotation. So we do see some rotation right there. Again, this is in Texas, near Goldsboro, Texas. Thankfully, this is in a rural area, but there's still some towns around here. So let me just zoom out for you guys. This is to the southeast of Abilene, and again, this is not our only storm. We have storms up here along the Texas-Oklahoma border, southern Oklahoma, northern Texas here, and we're going to see these supercells move off to the northeast here in the coming hours. So Oklahoma City, which is right up there, Norman, which is about where my finger just was, we're going to be having to watch for significant supercell storms. Again, these storms will be capable of producing strong, violent tornadoes and giant hail, and that storm is the one we're just focusing on there, just to the southeast of Abilene, and likely just going to see some more storms popping off here in the coming hours. But let's check on those northern storms right now, as we do have a new tornado warning, it looks like. Let me get to this radar right here that's right on the warning. But if we check on these storms up here, what do we have going on? Well, we have multiple storms, and some of these storms have kind of congealed into a cluster of storms. We do have a tornado warning right now for Frederick. Yes, that's in Oklahoma. Frederick, Oklahoma. So we're going to have to watch that. Make sure you're indoors and away from windows in your safe spot. Also, some damaging winds and hail will be likely with this storm. As you go down to the south towards Archer City, that's where we do have another tornado warning right here. That's going to be an area to watch for a tornado to drop down. Overall rotation right now looking pretty weak, but still do need to be in your safe spots, lowest level of your home in the most interior room, if you do not have that basement in the lowest level of your home. And now let's go back down to that most southern storm. Again, this is going to be just to the southeast of Abilene, and this is one we've been watching for a while. It did have a really good hook on it. We do still have that tornado warning in place, and there was a tornado report out of the storm, I think. But you can see that that rotation has broadened up a good bit here, which is good news, which makes the threat for a tornado being actually on the ground a little bit less. But you still do need to be in your safe spots. Again, lowest level of your home. If you don't have that basement, want to be in the most interior room of your home. Get the most layers between yourself and the outside world as possible here. Alright, I think the audio is working. I don't actually have the chat, or I could turn on the chat, but we'll look at that here in a second. But again, storms have been firing here in the last 1 to 2 hours, I would say, and we already have seen one tornado report. As you can see, that purple icon right here, that's where our tornado report was, as that storm was a little bit stronger. We saw stronger rotation, at least, with it. But so far, we do have this cluster of storms into southwestern Oklahoma right now. Thankfully, it does look like these storms have congealed, but still, we're going to likely see semi-discrete supercells moving here into the Oklahoma City area. So this storm complex is going to move towards you guys. Hopefully, we'll continue to see that congealing of storms, because that does lessen the tornado threat. It doesn't make the tornado threat at zero, as we still do have a tornado warning associated with that cluster of storms, but it does lessen that large violent tornado threat. But we're likely still going to have to watch for that, as we could see some more discrete supercells form here in the next couple of hours. Again, we do have that tornado warning here for Frederick, Oklahoma, and Manitou, I think is how you say that. Overall, this is right on the radar, so I can't get a very good velocity scan of it right now. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably our best bet with the radar, though. But yeah, this is likely going to pack a punch with hail, damaging winds, and if you're in this tornado warning, you need to be in your safe spot, lowest level of your home right now, because again, there is a tornado warning. The possibility of a tornado coming onto the ground is real. That's why there's a warning. So you need to be in your safe spot, either underground or in the most interior room of your home. Alright, let me just check the chat, make sure everything's working right here. Again, if you're just joining us, we are covering severe weather outbreak into the southern plains from Kansas down to Oklahoma and Texas, where we already have those storms popping off. And this could turn into a tornado outbreak with strong, violent tornadoes possible, giant hail, as well as extreme damaging winds. We also do have a PDS tornado watch here in this general area. I think it does include the Oklahoma City area as well, through Oklahoma, through western Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, down into northern Texas. That's where we have that PDS, particularly dangerous situation, and that means we're very serious about this. We could see a very dangerous situation with multiple tornadoes, some being strong and violent. Alright, I'm just going to check the chat here. Alright, looks like everything's working. And we already have seen. Alright. Again, if you're just joining, we are covering the start of what could be a significant severe weather outbreak. That's pretty much expected at this point, but what could be also a tornado outbreak, as we do see the ingredients in place for violent, strong tornadoes associated with supercell storms like this one to the south east of Abilene, Texas right now. And you can see it's kind of got that bean shape of a supercell. We saw a more pronounced hook, more pronounced rotation about 30 minutes to 40 minutes ago, but right now that has lessened a little bit. We still have that tornado warning in effect. Also a severe thunderstorm warning, so you want to be indoors away from windows. Looking at the rotation right now, it does look like that tornado warning will be allowed to expire, as that has broadened up, but still want to watch the storm. If you're over into Rising Star, Texas, Cross Plains, Texas, definitely could recycle, re-get its act together Not the best way of putting that, but pretty much get its act together again, get some stronger rotation, and that's very possible with storm. So again, rising star, and then all the way down to Lyman to Stephenville, and eventually we're going to be having to watch Fort Worth, Dallas area as well, to the north of Waco along the I-35 corridor. Now again, that's not the only spot where we do have storms. Right now we're also watching here in the southwestern Oklahoma where we do have a tornado warning in effect. This one will also likely be allowed to expire. Can't really see that rotation because it's so close to the radar, but we could have some rotation in there. If you're in this tornado warning, especially this northern area of it that's still being affected by the storm, make sure you are indoors in your safe spot, lowest level of your home in the most interior room of that level. And besides those tornado warnings, we do have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, meaning you want to be indoors and away from windows if you are under one of those. So all the way to the south of Wichita Falls to around Lawton, Oklahoma, just to the west of Lawton, we have all of these severe thunderstorm warnings. And as these storms continue to develop, as we see more storms fire off, we'll likely see more tornado warnings overspread this area as well. We also do have a tornado warning down here near Olney, Texas, south of Archer City, Texas. If we look at the rotation here on this storm, overall pretty weak rotation, not a lot of pronounced rotation, but that could change. If you're in this tornado warning, you still want to be indoors and away from windows. Again, this is just the start of the severe weather outbreak that is expected, and you can see we've already had those storms, southwestern Oklahoma, here into Texas as well, and that's pretty far south of the border, so a large stretch of area where we're dealing with those storms right now. So if you are in Wichita Falls, you want to get prepared as a severe thunderstorm warned storm capable of packing large hail and damaging winds is going to be coming towards your location. So here in the next around 30 minutes, you'll want to be getting indoors and away from windows as the storm comes through your location. Generally, these storms are going to be moving to the northeast, easterly direction. So going up towards Sulphur, Oklahoma, Ardmore, Oklahoma, into Denton, Texas there, Sherman, Texas, and also if we go to the north, we're going to likely be seeing these storms impacting the Oklahoma City, Norman area as we go into this evening, which I mean we're pretty much getting into this evening at this point, not to 5 o'clock yet, but we're going to be getting into the evening here soon, and it's the overnight hours again that's going to be affecting Oklahoma City, Norman, and even areas to the east with damaging winds, giant hail, and possibly some strong, violent, and even long track tornadoes. This is wording from the Storm Prediction Center. That's why we're really taking this day seriously because a lot of parameters are in place, a lot of the ingredients are in place for not only a severe weather outbreak but also a tornado outbreak. That's why I felt the need to go live, and we're going to be live here likely for a while covering this outbreak. Again, we still do have that tornado warning here in southwestern Oklahoma that will likely be allowed to expire. Will we see an extension? We'll be watching that. But if you're in Lawton, Oklahoma, you definitely want to be getting indoors and away from windows as a cluster of storms is heading towards your direction, capable of producing large hail and damaging winds. Alright, let's go back to the storm down here into the southeast of Abilene. And thankfully, we have not seen that more pronounced rotation, that more pronounced hook form again. So we'll be watching this storm closely. Again, that tornado warning will likely be allowed to expire. Still, this is a severe thunderstorm warning storm. So if you're in cross plains, likely going to be getting some hail. Same with you in Rising Star, Texas. You want to be indoors and away from windows. We're also going to be wanting to watch this storm that is to the south of Archer City, Texas. Right now it is tornado warning. We don't have very pronounced rotation on it, but I think that could change really quickly here, as we likely will have some rotation forming here. And again, this is going to be heading towards Newport, Texas, Cundiff, Texas, here in the next about an hour. These storms are also going to be moving pretty fast today, so that's something to watch as well. You don't want to be caught off guard, so make sure you stay tuned to this stream or your favorite source of weather information, your local meteorologist. But if you can, make sure you share the stream so we can get this information out to as many people as possible. Okay, that tornado warning was allowed to expire, like I suspected, in southwestern Oklahoma right there. This one down into Texas will likely be allowed to expire as well. The one that we'll have to watch is the storm near Archer City, Texas. Because as we look at the rotation on it right now, again, still do not have pronounced rotation. Green is winds going towards the radar, so radar is over here. The green would be going towards that direction, and then red is winds going away from the radar. So say we had red, this would likely be winds going this way. Green would be winds going this way, if I can do that right, and that's how we get that rotation. That's how we know that there's rotation on storms, and as you can see, we don't really see that with the storm. Can that change? Absolutely. That's why we're going to watch it closely. Still to have that tornado warning. Still do want to get in your safe spot, because the National Weather Service does see something with this storm, and of course it does have the possibility of forming a tornado. And this tornado warning down here to the southeast of Abilene will likely be allowed to expire, leaving the only tornado warning this storm near Archer City, Texas. The severe weather season really has not been letting up. We've had severe weather, it feels like nonstop for the past couple of weeks, and we're going to have to watch this going into this evening and into the overnight hours. Of course, it's already started. We saw that tornado report down there into Texas, and then into tomorrow. Sunday, we are going to be watching for the possibility of another severe weather outbreak throughout parts of the Ohio Valley, there into Illinois, southern Indiana, central southern Illinois, and into parts of Missouri, including St. Louis, there in the eastern half of the state. So I will have reports from there, because we're expecting some storms to come through early tomorrow morning, talking probably around 5 to 7 a.m. there in St. Louis. So I mean, this storm season, kind of like last year, but this storm season has just been so intense, more intense likely than last year. It just seems like it hasn't stopped, and we're just continuing to see this. We've had, some breaks here and there, but it feels like it's been nonstop here for the past couple of weeks. But I do think we'll have a little bit of a break going into this, or not this week, but next week technically. I'll be able to say this week as we go into tomorrow, but next week I think we will have a break of severe weather. The storm near Archer City is moving to the northeast. Still do not have a lot of rotation on it, but we're going to have to watch for some hail on this storm, as well as some damaging wind gusts. So if you're in Archer City, wind Thorst right here, Texas, you do want to be indoors away from windows right now. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys with the rare picture here for a second. See if I can't get the forecast models picked up here. Alright. One sec here. Alright, I got some forecast stuff pulled up here. About to put it up on screen. Alright. Alright, so this is the latest sounding. I think so, yeah, this is the latest sounding from Norman, Oklahoma, which of course is a spot we're watching inside of a PDS, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch right now, inside of that moderate risk. So this is kind of the epicenter of where we're expecting the severe weather today. And as we look at that photograph right there, it's definitely is good for tornadoes, good for rotation, good for supercell storms, and that definitely does signify that we could have some tornadoes for sure with supercell storms coming into the Oklahoma City, Norman area. As you can see right there, we have a little bit of cap, which is warm, dry air above the surface. That sometimes does limit that storm growth and intense storms from forming, but overall that's a very pretty weak capping right there. And as we look right here, Cape at 4,504, that is a lot of fuel. That's your instability. That is a lot of fuel for storms, which is what pretty much instability is. So overall, looking at this sounding definitely is favorable for supercell storms that could produce strong tornadoes here. So that's the latest sounding, and definitely not good at all. We're definitely going to be having to watch for tornadoes according to the sounding associated with supercell storms. Yeah, overall not a weak, not a strong, cap here at all. It is a weak cap, so storms will definitely be able to break through that. So we're going to have to watch that again. That sounding does show support for classic supercell storms. So we're going to be having to watch that. Of course, supercell storms, with supercell storms forming, we always have to watch for the threat of tornadoes. and giant hail as well. That's why those are the two biggest threats for today, because supercell storms are the main things we're watching out for. But overall, these storms in the southwestern Oklahoma right now looking more like a cluster than discrete storms right now, which is good news. Still have to watch damaging winds and some hail, but overall the tornado threat with this cluster of storms is pretty low right now. We're going to need to see more discreteness and strengthening in these storms to see any very severe weather, including tornadoes, to form. So we'll be watching that. Again, this is still well to the southwest of Oklahoma City and Norman, and we're going to be having to watch this as it moves to the northeast towards the city of Oklahoma City, down into the Norman area as well. Now, if we look at that storm here in Archer City, Texas, we still do have that tornado warning, and that rotation right in here has strengthened just a bit. And we're going to have to watch that. Overall right now, pretty broad. Again, red is winds going away from the radar. Green is winds going towards the radar. So right there is where we have our kind of rotation within the storm. And that's where we're watching for a possible tornado on this. So if you're in Archer City, Texas right now, likely getting pounded by hail, you need to be indoors and away from windows. And then over towards Windthorst, Texas as well, you do need to be indoors in your safe spot. Same thing for Archer City. If we look back at the velocity right here, again, that's where our rotation is. That's going to be moving likely just to the south here of Archer City and towards Windthorst as well. That's why we do have that tornado warning right now. Not a confirmed tornado, just radar indicated rotation. The National Weather Service has seen that, and they think a tornado could possibly form here with this storm. So that's why we're watching this. If you're in Archer City, Windthorst, make sure you are in your safe spot. And then that tornado warning here down to the southeast of Abilene, Texas, the most southern storm right now, that has been allowed to expire. So that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So right now we do only have one tornado warning, so let's focus in on that tornado warning. Again, here's the storm. It does not have a pronounced hook or anything like that, but we do see a little bit of rotation in here, and that's just to the south of Archer City. We do see a little bit of rotation about right in here. That's kind of where we're watching for a rotation, where that little appendage, as Mark in the chat was saying. And then the rest of the storms are just severe thunderstorm warned, with these ones up towards Lawton, Oklahoma, being pretty significant severe thunderstorms. Definitely going to want to watch out for hail, damaging winds up there near Lawton and points north over towards Hobart, as well as Carnegie. Yeah, for sure. Well, these storms don't look like they're gonna, produce strong tornadoes right now. That can definitely change. We're likely gonna see these strengthen as they head to the northeast and east. So we still need to watch this if we're in Oklahoma City. Norman, overall, does it look a little bit better than what was initially expected? Yes. But again, that could change. We could see these storms strengthen, and that's going to be something like Levi was mentioning with mergers here and them turning right. We're going to be wanting to watch that here in the next couple of hours with these storms. Yeah, and the latest velocity scan here, pretty broad rotation, but that could strengthen. And that's why we do have this tornado warning right now, because there is rotation on the storm. Tornado could form, so if you're in Archer City, you need to be in your safe spots right now. Lowest level of your home, most interior room of that level, and then into Windthorst, Scotland, Texas, you as well do need to be in your safe spot right now. And just showing the progression of these storms right now. And again, you can see moving to the northeast and east, and you can tell right here we've got some boundaries from these storms, those outflow boundaries created by these storms, and when those kind of interact or merge together, that's when we can see more storms form here as well. So we could see more storms behind this line. Now the question is, are they going to be as strong? Because can this environment behind these storms recover as quickly? But definitely we're going to have to watch as those boundaries interact. We could get more storms to form behind this line or maybe just to the north of it. There was a sounding that was launched not too long ago, about an hour or less ago, in Lawton, Oklahoma, and we do have that capping in place, that convective inhibition, which oftentimes prevents storms from forming, and in other cases, when storms have already formed, sometimes prevents them from getting strong. And we do see that capping in place. It's not the strongest cap, but it's definitely something to watch for that could inhibit these storms that we're watching near Lawton, Oklahoma, from getting strong, but likely going to see that cap break here in the next couple of hours. We definitely could see that with these storms coming through, where we do have that capping in place. And again, that cap can inhibit these storms from becoming intense, from becoming not just intense, but a lot stronger, and really getting their act together. Alright, now we do have a new tornado warning here near Seymour, Texas, but mainly to the east of there, here near Mabel, Texas, Dundee, Texas. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing some of these names wrong, but we do have some rotation. It looks like right in here, that's where we've got our rotation right now. And that's actually not the broadest rotation. That's some tightening up rotation. Overall, it's not extremely strong rotation, but definitely something to watch. So if you're in this tornado warning, again, this is to the east of Seymour, from Dundee towards Maybell, to the north of Westover, Texas. All these areas, yes, are in Texas. I'm just checking that because it's so close to the border. You do want to be in your safe spots right now, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room. If you do not have a basement, you do want to be in the most interior room, get as many layers between you and the outside world as possible. Because we could see some strengthening rotation. As you can see right here, there's that kind of appendage right there that we're watching, that hook you could call it. Not really, this isn't a very classic supercell or anything like that, but still some rotation likely within there, and that's why we do have this tornado warning on this storm. And up towards Dundee, into Mankins and Holiday, Texas. You guys are next in line as the storm's moving to the northeast. Now that storm over towards Windthorst, Texas and Archer City overall has not been able to really get its act together in the terms of rotation. Still some hail definitely on that storm, so likely do not have a tornado on the ground right now, but still a tornado warning effect, which means you still do need to be in your safe spots. Once that is allowed to expire, then you can come out of your safe spots. But for right now, overall, not strong rotation, which is good news in that storm, but we're going to have to watch the storm just to the west of it, to the east of Seymour, Texas. And the rest of these storms right now, as you can see in those yellow boxes, do have severe thunderstorm warnings on them. And these severe thunderstorm warned storms can still definitely pack a punch, as you can see, all the way from southwestern Oklahoma here to the southeast of Abilene, Texas. So we got a lot going on right now overall. Only one tornado report yet, and that was in a rural area and for a brief period of time, but that could change. We definitely could see tornadoes as we go into the coming hours. Oklahoma City, Norman, these storms are going to be starting to come into your area soon, and we're going to be having to watch for the potential for tornadoes, damaging winds, and giant hail. You want to be prepared. Tuned into this live stream, tuned into your favorite source of weather information, local meteorologist, likely your best bet. And one thing to keep in mind here, let me zoom out so you can get a little bit better picture, is that the low-level jet, which you can't see on here, this is just radar, but the low-level jet, which enhances that tornado probability, has not really even kicked in yet. We're still waiting for that to kick in as we go into the evening here, which, I mean, we're basically already into the evening, but as we go further into the evening, into the overnight hours, that low-level jet, which is that jet of air, that jet of winds above us, just above the surface, that does create that tornado potential as we have those strong winds above our head. And as we get those winds up into the mid and upper levels that are going into a different direction, if we see something like this, we can see rotation in those storms, and that low-level jet is definitely a key ingredient in seeing tornado potential, and that really hasn't kicked in yet. It's starting to, but we still need to watch for that low-level jet to kick in. Then the tornado potential will likely go up. An example of the low-level jet in effect, usually on some severe weather days when there's some cumulus clouds overhead before the main event, you see them streaming through really fast, and we're likely seeing the low-level jet streaming those storms through, or those clouds through. And the stronger the low-level jet, usually we're going to see a stronger tornado potential. Yeah, again, we're watching the storm near Seymour, Texas, to the northeast of Seymour, up towards Dundee, getting in on some hail. You need to be in your safe spots right now. Again, lowest level of your home, most interior room of that level, and then up towards Holiday, Mankins, Cadane, corner there. And you can see we do have that little appendage there that we're watching, and we do definitely have some rotation right in here. So you do want to be in your safe spots because a tornado could form. This is definitely some rotation in this storm, and that's going to be moving off to the northeast towards Dundee and points to the southeast. So we're watching that very closely. If you're in the way of the storm, if you're in this, as you can see right here, this tornado warning, we zoom out a little, you want to be in your safe spots, most interior room of your home, lowest level of your home. This definitely do have some rotation. That it has been tightening up a little here. Now, for right now, these storms to the southwest of Oklahoma City do not show a strong tornado potential right now, but that could change. But we want that to not change. We want it to stay with mainly just severe thunderstorm warnings. We're not really watching for that tornado potential, but that for sure could change as, again, we get the low-level jet to really start kicking in a little bit more here in the coming hours as these storms move closer. But right now, if we get this to pretty much stay, we could get these storms kind of getting their act together, but pretty much stay like this, that would be very good for Oklahoma City and Norman. But there's a good chance that we do not see that, and we do see these storms really getting their act together, starting to get rotation on them. But nevertheless, both scenarios going to be severe weather, damaged winds, hail, and of course with the other scenario with these storms really getting their act together, tornadoes. Both scenarios you want to be prepared, heed all warnings, and go indoors. Of course, if there's a tornado warning, you want to do more than just go indoors, go into your safe spots. And if you're watching from Oklahoma City or Norman, right now and you don't have your tornado safety plan dialed in, make sure to do that right now. Where are you going to go if a tornado warning is placed for your location? If you're in a house and have a basement, best bet is going to be going in that basement. If you're in a house that doesn't have a basement, you want to go to the lowest level of that home in the most interior room of that level. Get as many layers between you and the outside world. Yeah, once we do get around sunset, that's usually when the low-level jet really starts cranking. And of course, like I was explaining, that does really heighten the tornado potential. All right, that rotation on that storm to the northeast of Seymour has lessened here, which is good. Overall, these storms really aren't getting that that classic look, that classic supercell look right now. But we're still going to have to watch that, because as that low-level jet cranks up, we could see those storms really get that classic look. Right now, they're just really not able to get that right now, because we're just not seeing the right environment for that here in northern Texas. Wichita Falls down towards Archer City right now. Again, these storms are trying. They're trying hard to get rotation on them, but they overall can't accomplish that. But I do have a feeling that once that low-level jet here in the next couple of hours really does start cranking up, we'll see that change. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Just checking some of the models here real quick. Alright, let's check back in on this storm near Windthorst right now. And we definitely do have some more rotation here on the storm. As you can see, the velocity here with that green wind's going towards the radar, red wind's going away from the radar, and we get those two to meet right there. That's where we're going to have that rotation. So that's just to the west of Windthorst. Going to be moving into Windthorst right now. You do need to be in your safe spot, lowest level of your home, most interior room of that level. That's going to be your best bet, because this is some more intensifying rotation. We're going to see if this sustains itself and or does intensify here in the next couple of minutes, but definitely some pretty tight rotation here right here going through Windthorst right now. We're going to have to watch this very closely, as this is some tight rotation right now. Going back to base velocity, if we can get this on 2 panels real quick. Make this base velocity. Okay. So right now, here's reflectivity. You can see kind of more pronounced hook forming here, and then right here into Windthorst, just to the south of Windthorst, right now, going over that highway right there. That's where we have that rotation right now, and that's some tight rotation. We could have a tornado coming on the ground here in any minute. That is some very tight rotation right there, and that's going to be just to the south of Windthorst. And here after Windthorst, we're going to be having to watch areas such as, well, it doesn't look like there's really any towns past that, but Bellevue, you're going to be next in line. You're outside of the tornado warning right now. But you could be next in line as the storm is strengthening quickly, and that is some tight rotation right there to the south of Windthorst, and that's going to be moving into the town here in the next couple of minutes. If it has not already, you need to be in your safe spots right now if you are in Windthorst, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room. If we look at correlation coefficient here as well, overall I'm not seeing anything, which is good. Tornado correlation coefficient does show if we get that debris. We could see that picking up here in a second, because the tornado could very well be on the ground right now, as that is some tight rotation here near Windthorst, and we're going to be having to watch that moving to the east, northeast of Windthorst, kind of in this direction here in the next 20-30 minutes. But moving through Windthorst right now, there's that rotation. That is some tight rotation right there. Again, red is winds going away from the radar. Green is winds going towards the radar. Alright, sorry about that. Looks like we had a mic issue there. Let me put this back on. Alright. Again, here's the storm we're talking about right now. This is to the south of Wichita Falls, to the east of Archer City, Texas, and we do have some pretty pronounced rotation on the storm as it has started to get its act together. Definitely some tight rotation on this storm right now, and this is going to be moving to the east, moving through Windthorst right now, and going to be moving through the east, or to the east. Yeah, right in there, right over Windthorst. If there's a tornado right now, it'd likely be maybe just to the south or right over Windthorst right now, and that's going to be moving to the east. Again, this is Windthorst, Texas. This is just to the south of Wichita Falls, just to the east of Archer City, Texas. And looking at reflectivity, we kind of got that appendage or hook right here, and that again is going to be moving to the east northeast. Scotland, Texas, you're dealing with hail, but that tornado warned portion of the storm is near Windthorst. We have had this extended right now radar indicated rotation, tornado and hail up to 2 inches in diameter. And again, there's that rotation. Significant hail in the storm, but also we could be having a tornado. If it's not on the ground right now, it could be a tornado could be on the ground imminent here in Windthorst, Texas. Again, this is moving to the northeast. Look at correlation coefficient. Do not see a debris ball, which correlation coefficient, if you see those blue colors on here, that usually indicates that we do have debris in the air and can really indicate where a tornado is, but we don't have that right now. But we definitely could have a tornado on the ground near Windthorst, Texas right now. And this is going to be moving to the northeast in this pretty much general direction, right, like that. Again, there's where that rotation is, just to the northeast of Windthorst right now. Again, this is the main storm we're watching right now. This is to the south of Wichita Falls, here in northern Texas, and we do have a hook on the storm and definitely some rotation on the storm near Windthorst, Texas, and this is going to be moving to the northeast right now. And right there is where that rotation is. That is going to be just the northeast of Windthorst and moving to the northeast, thankfully, through rural areas. But again, there's still people that live here, so we want them to be aware. And again, we do have pretty significant rotation on the storm that's going to be moving to the northeast. Alright, that tornado warning does look like it's become a confirmed tornado warning. Broadcast media confirmed tornado in Windthorst. Okay, I thought it was Windthorst. Yeah, I think they just spelled that wrong. In Windthorst, right now, broadcast media confirmed tornado. So there is a tornado. It does look like, yeah, there is a tornado on the ground here in Windthorst, Texas, and that's going to be moving to the northeast. This tornado, again, is on the ground. There's where we have that very pronounced area of rotation just to the northeast of the town of Windthorst. And as we zoom out, again, this is going to be moving to the northeast. If you're in Dick Warsham, you need to be in your safe spots right now. Same thing with you guys in Bellevue. We were talking about y'all earlier. Now you are in that tornado warning, confirmed tornado warning. You need to be in your safe spots, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of that level. We get as many layers between you and the outside world as possible, as there's a tornado likely on the ground right now here to the northeast of Windthorst. Tornado on the ground confirmed by broadcast media, and that's going to be moving to the northeast towards Dick Warsham and Bellevue, Texas. So if you own anyone in there, make sure they are weather aware. They're knowing of the situation, as we have very tight rotation there near Windthorst, Texas. Right in there. If there is a tornado, be right in here. That's and there is a tornado right now, so that's why we're watching that confirmed tornado to the northeast of Windthorst, and that's going to be moving to the northeast. If we look at that correlation coefficient now, do we see anything yet? Maybe could be some tornado debris in here, but nothing really totally picking up right now. But definitely strong rotation, and then of course we do have that confirmed tornado on the ground right now. Alright, getting a photo of it right now. And I'm getting a photo of this tornado that is on the ground right now. On Reed Timmer's stream. Let me pull it up real quick so I can see this. But again, this is going to be moving towards Dick Warsham here in the next 30 minutes. Bellevue as well. The storm is moving pretty slow, so you have time, but you want to get in your safe spots right now. Already you want to get in your safe spots. Lowest level of your home. If you have a basement, that's your best bet. If you don't, get in the lowest level of your home, again, if you don't have a basement, in the most interior room of your home. All right, this is a particularly dangerous situation. Tornado warning now. Yeah, we have this tornado on the stream of Reed Timmer right now. Of course, legendary storm chasers, storm chasing. We got a lot of storm chasers out here right now, but very pronounced rotation. We have a tornado on the ground right now, particularly dangerous situation. Tornado warning right now, and right in there where you see that red, those winds going away from their radar. Green, winds going towards the radar. Right in there where those two are kind of hugging, that's where we're seeing that rotation, and that's going to be moving to the northeast of Windthorst, Texas right now, to the northeast of Windthorst towards Dick Warsham and Bellevue, Texas. Again, here's where that tornado is right now, right here, and it's going to be moving to the northeast, and we're expecting it at this point to stay on the ground, as that is very pronounced rotation. That hook right there to the northeast of Windthorst just went through Windthorst, Texas, and that's going to be moving towards Dick Warsham, Texas, likely in between Dick Warsham and Bellevue along that highway right there. If we look again at correlation coefficient, does anything really pop out? Not right now, which is good. Overall, it didn't look like this tornado was extremely strong. From the images I've been seeing, but still, any tornado means you should be in your safe spots for sure. So again, if you're to the northeast of Windthorst right now, to the northeast of Windthorst, to the southeast of Scotland, Texas, that's where you want to be indoors. The tornado is likely right here, and that's going to be moving to the northeast. To the northeast, that's where the tornado is right now, and again, moving to the east-northeast direction. Yeah, and this is the main storm we're watching right now. There's that rotation. If we zoom in here, we can really get a sense of where that rotation is. Right in here, likely where that rotation is, and that's going to be moving to the northeast. That's where we have our tornado right now, and we're going to be watching that move to the northeast. Alright, it does look like we had the mic go out there for a minute. But again, here's where that area of rotation is right now. Tornado is on the ground. This is a particularly dangerous situation. If we zoom out, we can clearly see that hook on that storm right now, and that's where that rotation is. That's where that tornado is, likely on the ground right now. Again, this is to the northeast of Windthorst, and that's going to be heading to the northeast, so towards Dick Warsham and Bellevue. In between those two areas, that's where this tornado, that's where this area of rotation is likely going to be passing through in the next 30 minutes. The storm is moving slow, so you do have time to get ready for it, but that's going to pack a punch with hail and that tornado possibility, as we likely do have a tornado on the ground, and that could hit Dick Warsham and Bellevue. You want to be prepared for it to hit your area. That's why you want to be in your safe spot, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of that level. Again, we got that tight rotation there. It's a little less tight than it was, but still likely a tornado on the ground. As we have a particularly dangerous situation warning that is in the upper echelon of the warnings that the NWS does give out. Next up is tornado emergency, and that's the highest level they go. So it's just one down from that. Still very dangerous, particularly dangerous situation warning. And there's where that rotation is. Strong rotation, tornado on the ground to the northeast of Windthorst, Texas. And again, that's going to be heading to the northeast towards Dick Horsham and Bellevue, Texas. Eventually there towards Ringgold, Texas here. Yeah, this is the only tornado warned storm right now, and it is a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning, which, like I just stated, is a very serious, very dangerous, of course, situation. Because again, we do have that strong rotation. We've had reports of a tornado on the ground. Let me check that real quick. Again, we've had reports of a tornado on the ground. And we likely do have a tornado on the ground. That's why you need to be in your safe spots, lowest level of home, in the most interior room of that level, Dick Horsham and Bellevue, and areas in between along that highway. You do need to be in your safe spots right now. Yeah, we're getting photos from Team Dominator, Reed Timmer's chase team. That tornado is on the ground. Stovepipe tornado right now here near Windthorst, Texas, just to the northeast of there. The storm is moving slowly, so you have time to get to your safe spots, but you want to be there as quickly as you can as the storm moves through. Stovepipe tornado is on the ground right now, and that's going to, again, be moving through into Dick Horsham, Bellevue. You want to be prepared for that tornado to hit your area. That's why you want to be in the lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of your home. If you don't have a basement, most interior room of your home. Get as many levels in the outside world as possible. And if you have a basement, you want to be in that basement. Best bet is likely under the stairs or in a closet in your basement, away from basement windows as well. Again, there's where we have that rotation. Green is winds going towards the radar. Red is winds going away from the radar. And right in there, that's where we have a rotation. Right in there is where we have our tornado. A tornado that does look like a stovepipe. That's why we call it a stovepipe tornado here. Let's see. Again, this is just to the northeast of Windthorst, Texas. The storm in general to other areas we're watching for storms, sorry about that, is to the south, east of Wichita Falls, and to the northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But there's where we have that hook, right in here, and here's where we have that rotation. Tornado is on the ground. Tornado is on the ground, and we really are seeing that tightening rotation right in there. That's where our likely tornado is on the ground right now. Here's Windthorst right over here, and right in there is likely where that tornado is on the ground. Again, here's that rotation. There's where that tornado is on the ground, and moving to the northeast towards Dick Horsham and Bellevue, Texas. Again, this is a particularly dangerous situation. Tornado warning. Take cover now. That is the wording from the National Weather Service, and you do want to take cover now if you are to the east of Windthorst, Texas, and this is going to likely hit Dickersham. You want to be in your safe spots right now in Dickersham, Texas. Right now to the south towards Bellevue, Texas, because this intense area of circulation, which is associated with a tornado right now, is going to be moving towards your location here in the next, I'd say, probably 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, and this area of rotation is staying strong. We've got a tornado on the ground right now, and it's going to be heading towards Dickersham, Texas, and areas in between to the northeast of Windthorst. So it was right here about 10 to 20 minutes ago, and now it's right here to the northeast. So taking that same track, likely going to be going towards Dickersham. So that's why we need to be prepared. We need to be in our safe spots if we're there in the town right now there in Texas. We also do have the severe thunderstorm warning storm still to the southeast of Abilene, Texas. And we're going to be having to watch this as well. This storm could be developing some rotation here as well. So watching that storm as all these storms really are starting to get some more rotation on them. But the main storm that really has that significant tornado potential right now is right here in Texas, in northern Texas, to the northeast of Windthorst, to the southwest of Dickersham, and that's going to be moving to the northeast towards Dickersham, Texas, and right there is where we have that area of rotation. Very pronounced, very tight area of rotation, and if we really come in here, we can kind of see this spot in the radar where there's that kind of little hole there with the green. That's likely where the tornado is right now as we speak. That's likely where the tornado is right now. If we look at the correlation coefficient, we do not have a debris ball, which does make sense because it's going through rural areas, likely not hitting a lot, hopefully not hitting a lot, as it really doesn't have a good chance. This is in a rural area, but we still need to take into account farm homes as well as barns. But again, that's where that area of rotation is. And it's going to be moving to the northeast, right towards Dickersham. Want to be in your safe spots right now. Now, if we check back up into near Oklahoma City, overall, it is looking very, very good for Oklahoma City in terms of not seeing significant severe weather. Still could see some severe thunderstorm warning storms, but these storms are really going to have to get their act together quickly if we want to see anything extremely significant here in Oklahoma City down through Moore and Norman areas. So right now, but still I do have the potential for some storms behind that line. But overall, this is the main line we were watching. And overall, not very strong at this point. But we'll have to watch if that changes here in the next couple of hours with storms that could possibly form behind that line. But let's get back again to the main thing we're talking about here. This storm with a very pronounced hook, this supercell storm. And right there's where we have that tornado. Right there with that rotation. Again, that's going to be moving up towards Dick Warsham, Texas. I've said that name a lot here, but that's because we want to get the message out. If you're in there in between Belleville and Dick Warsham, but really up towards Dick Warsham, as the storm is moving to the northeast towards the town, you want to be in your safe spots right now. Lowest level of your home, most interior room of your home. And the tornado sirens may be going off. They may have already gone off. But once the tornado sirens go off, does not mean the coast is clear. They only, in most areas, they only go off for maybe a couple minutes and then go off. But that does not mean the tornado warning expired. That does not mean the threat to your life has expired at all. So even if the sirens have gone off, which first of all, you shouldn't even be relying on outdoor sirens if you are indoors, but you still do want to be in your safe spots if they have gone off, because this is a particularly dangerous situation, which is a heightened warning, heightened wording from the National Weather Service here. Again, we're going to be having to watch that here in Dick Warsham. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're covering this tornado warning storm, this particularly dangerous situation. Well, it does look like it has been downgraded. Radar indicated rotation. Okay, it has been downgraded from a particularly dangerous situation. Tornado warning right now, it does look like. But still, we definitely could have a tornado developing here. Looks like the National Weather Service, though, has downgraded this tornado warning as we look. Tornado warning remains in effect. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Tornado and 2-inch size hail, radar indicated rotation. So this is not a particularly dangerous situation anymore, but definitely could turn into one again. We've seen that rotation broaden out just a little bit. We're still watching this storm closely as it heads towards Dick Warsham. Still a tornado warning in place. You still do want to be prepared, as the storm could recycle and we could get that rotation to really get stronger again, but we still do have some pretty tight rotation right in here. Again, green is winds going towards the radar, red is winds going away from the radar, and right in there was where we would have that rotation possible tornado. Again, that's going to be heading up towards Dick Warsham, so you want to be in your safe spots if you're in the town. We do have a new tornado warning down here near Cross Plains, Texas. This is that most southern storm that has a history of producing a tornado. So if we zoom in on this one, again, this is to the southeast of Abilene, Texas. And this is some more populated area near Rising Star, Cross Plains, Texas. And right in here is where we have that rotation right now. Again, this is a tornado warning. And right in here, as you can see, that hook right there, that appendage, whatever you want to call it. And we do have some pretty pronounced rotation in here. So if you're in Branton, Texas, if you're in Homely, Texas, if you're to just the north of Rising Star, Texas, and even over towards Carbon, Texas, and Gorman, Texas, you want to be in your safe spots right now. You want to be indoors, in the most interior room of your home, on the lowest level of your home. So lowest level of your home, basement, best bet, maybe a closet or under the stairs in your basement. And then if you don't have a basement, if you have a storm shelter that's maybe above ground, that's also going to be a really good bet. But if you don't have that either, you're going to want to be in the most interior room of the lowest level of your home. There, get as many layers between you and the outside world as possible. But again, here's that rotation, that tightening, pretty significant rotation right there, and that's going to be moving to the east-northeast here towards Branton, Texas, as well as Romney, Texas, and just the north of Rising Star, eventually here over towards Carbon, Texas as well. So if you know anyone in this area, make sure you share the stream. Make sure they are weather aware, knowing of this happening. Again, this is going to be just to the east northeast of Central Plains. Just went through Central Plains. Also likely some pretty significant hail on this storm, but that rotation really pretty pronounced there right now. Right in here to the north, just to the northeast of Cross Plains, that's, if we do have a tornado on the ground, that's where it would be right there. That's where it would be right in that hook. That's where our tornado would be right now. If you look at correlation coefficient, yeah, I did not think we would see anything, but could see some things showing up there on correlation coefficient. Again, that is kind of the debris tracker that we're talking about here. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Sorry about that. Again, we're watching this storm into more central Texas, kind of in between there, northern and central Texas. But then we're still watching this dangerous, I did not mean to do that either, but we're still watching this dangerous storm here that is to the southeast of Wichita Falls, Texas. We still do have a hook on the storm. We still do have some rotation, but overall it has really lessened. We're starting to get that hook to kind of flatten out a little bit here, and that hook is not as pronounced. So that's good news. Still, if you're in Dick Warsham, Bellevue, you do need to be in your safe spots, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of that level, because this storm does have the potential to recycle. There's still some broad circulation, so the potential of a tornado forming is not at all totally lost with this storm. Overall, the intensity, the likelihood of tornado forming has dropped, but we could definitely still see that with this storm that is still tornado warned. If we check in here, go back to one panel, check in here on the Oklahoma City area right now. We can see that overall, it looks like we're going to maybe dodge a bullet here on this first batch of storms. We could have a couple batch of storms behind this line. So behind this first batch, we could have maybe a couple storms, but this was the main time frame. This was the main storms we were watching, and overall, they have not really materialized here in Oklahoma. Now, as we get into the next hour or 2 hours, when that low-level jet starts cranking up, could we see some storms? Especially if we see those storms form with those outflow boundaries behind this first batch. Could we see those storms strengthen and grow a tornado potential heading towards the city? That's possible. So overall, once these storms get through, you're still going to have to watch these. But it does look better than what was initially expected. What's on radar right now does look a lot better than what we were looking at models, say, a couple of hours ago, this morning, or yesterday. So that is good. Good news right now that for Oklahoma City and Norman, but you're not out of this weather yet. You're not in the clear yet. You're not in the clear just yet. Because we still do have some severe thunderstorm warning storms, but Oklahoma City and Norman likely won't be affected by those. And that storm near Cross Plains, Texas has really started to get its act together. As we go back down here into around central Texas, we did have a report of a funnel cloud by law enforcement roughly 200 feet off of the ground. As we go back here to two panels, and very, very tight rotation right in there. That's where we have our rotation. Right in here, that's where our rotation is. Green wind's going towards the radar. Red wind's going away from the radar. Right in there is where we have that rotation, and we could have a tornado on the ground right now. We really could have a tornado on the ground right now. That is extremely tight rotation there. You can see that hook with that storm. Right there is our rotation, and that's going to be heading towards Branson. You need to be in your safe spots right now. Lowest level of your home, most interior rim of that level. Romney, Texas as well as Carbon, Texas. You guys are under the gun for potentially a tornado and definitely some hail. So you need to be indoors, away from windows, in the most interior room of your home on the lowest level of your home. So you want to be on the lowest level of your home. If you have a basement, that's your best bet. Again, under the stairs or in a closet in the basement. And then also, if you do not have a basement, you want to be in the most interior room of your first floor or your lowest level of your home. As you can see, there's that hook. There's where that rotation, right where my finger's pointing right now, and that's going to be heading pretty much straight shot in between Romney and Branson, Texas right now. So in between Romney and Branson, Texas, that's where we're watching for that right now. Again, that is some extremely tight rotation right in here. And if we do have a tornado on the ground, which is very possible with a velocity signature or rotation signature like that, it could be pretty strong. So we're watching that very closely right now. Again, the storm has really intensified here with some strong rotation. Again, there's where that rotation is. This is heading to the east, barely really to the northeast, more easterly than northeasterly, really. So heading towards the east, this is likely going to take a direct shot at Branson, this tornado warning storm. Where that tornado is, it could be right now. It's typically not confirmed, but that is a pretty significant velocity signature or rotation signature right there. And that, again, is going to be heading towards Branson, Texas, in between Romney and Branson, Texas right now. Very pronounced hook on that storm. Seeing if we have any reports or storm chasers on this storm. Alright, getting video from Reed Timmer of that tornado warning storm that was once a PDS tornado warning storm of a pretty significant cone tornado. Yeah, we did see a pretty incredible tornado near Windthorst, Texas. And we're watching this storm closely as it really getting some tightening rotation right in there. That's where that rotation would be right now, right where that hook is. Right in there where that green rotation sign just to the east of there, that's going to be heading towards Branson. You want to be in your safe spots right now. You want to be in your safe spots right now, so we could very well have a tornado on the ground right now. So you want to be in the most interior room of your home, lowest level of your home. If we look at the correlation coefficient right now, it does look like we could possibly have some debris, maybe a debris ball forming here, which shows that debris. Hopefully that's not the case, but from looking at the signature right here, from the velocity, seeing that there's very tight rotation, that's a very good possibility. That's a debris ball, which is debris flung by a tornado into the air. There's a very good possibility that's what that is, right in there. That could be debris from this tornado. Not going to say for sure, but we do have some rotation in there. It looks like it's lessened up just a bit, and hopefully we'll continue to see that with this storm. But again, Branson, you still want to be prepared. That rotation has weakened just a bit, and it looks like we could continue to see that happen, but it could recycle. Again, this rotation is weakening. Still do not want to let our guard down. As possibly a little bit of a debris ball right there. Could not be, could just be a discrepancy, but also could be some debris right there where we have those blue colors. But right now still do have some pretty tight rotation, and again, that's going to be heading right into Branton, maybe just to the north of Branton, but right in near Branton, Texas, in between Romney and Branton. And then Carbon as well. A confirmed tornado was located near Cross Plains, or 16 miles south of Cisco, moving northeast. Radar confirmed tornado. So we did get that radar confirmed tornado. Is this a tornado report? Train spotter 6 miles west of Rising Star. Okay, so we may have had 2 areas of rotation actually on this storm. Okay, there's that tornado report. Law enforcement reported a brief tornado touching down, and that's just to the north. There's Cross Plains right there. That's just to the northeast of Cross Plains. Again, that's going to be heading into Branson. You want to be in your safe spots right now. You want to be in your safe spots right now there in Branson. Branton, Texas. In between Romney and Branton, Texas right now. We still do have this tornado warning here to the east of Archer City, Texas. It does look like it hasn't expired yet, but overall that rotation has become pretty weak here. But right now the main storm we're watching is that one that has produced 2 tornadoes, maybe 3 actually, 2 to 3 tornadoes. Thankfully, though, we have seen the rotation on this storm really lessen, which is very, very good news. But still in Branton, you want to play it safe. You want to be in your safe spot right now, as we still, looks like, still do have a little bit of rotation in here. Can't really pinpoint, maybe right there. But nevertheless, you still want to be prepared in Branton. Still want to be in your safe spot. Lowest level of your home, most interior room of your home. There's still a tornado warning on this storm, and again, that's going to be moving towards Carbon, Romney, dealing with Carbon and Romney, going to be dealing with that hail as well, and the storm could recycle, so we're going to be having to watch it. But overall, that rotation has lessened, which has been a pretty good theme with these storms, that these are not long-tracked areas of rotation. They're weakening relatively quickly here, which is good news. Alright, let's go back to one panel here. Changes this back to base reflectivity. We do have some storms that are going to be forming here, again, behind this main line, which is really not the strongest, really not meeting expectations from what we were looking at models maybe this morning or yesterday, which is great news for the Oklahoma City area. At least this first line, but we're still having these storms behind them, created by those outflow boundaries here, and that's why we're gonna be not out of the out of the clear, or in the clear is what I should say. In the clear here in Oklahoma City, down through Norman, down through Pauls Valley, Ardmore as well, because again, we're likely going to have storms behind this main line as well that could get strong. And then as we go up north, we do have some storms forming here to the west of Wichita. right now, and these likely will be strong hailstorms, strong supercell storms capable of producing tornadoes as well, and those have started to form. And again, the storm down towards Altus and the storm up towards Hobart as well. These are going to have the potential to strengthen as well, move into Oklahoma City. So once these couple of storms, which aren't very strong right now, move through, we aren't going to be in the clear in OKC. We still need to be prepared going into the overnight hours here with these storms as well. Again, that rotation has weakened here. Really broad rotation at this point. Likely no tornado on the ground in Branton, but still do need to be on our safe spots. Carbon, Gorman as well. You need to be prepared for this storm to possibly recycle and for some stronger rotation to reform, because that's going to be very possible. Let's see if we got some soundings in here. And tonight is not the end of the severe weather we're expecting. We still got to get through tomorrow as well. We're expecting severe weather into the Ohio Valley. Yeah, that storm has really lost most of its rotation, but could cycle back. We do have a new tornado watch. Let me get the tornado watches on here for you. Alright, there we go. So that particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, that's here through Oklahoma into northern Texas, into Oklahoma City, Norman here as well. But I just covered you guys in Norman and Oklahoma City area. You guys are looking good for now, but we still got to get through these last couple of storms. Well, it's really the first batch, but we still got to get through these storms before we can give the all clear for you guys. Where is that radar? Let me get up north with the radar here so we can get this new tornado watch. And we have seen the extension of that tornado watch to include Salina, Kansas, up here into Manhattan, Kansas, Marysville, Kansas, Belleville, Kansas, Concordia, Kansas, as well as Osborne, Kansas. Another tornado watch, I think that one's till 1 a.m. So till 1 a.m. you're going to be wanting to be prepared for tornadoes. Have a way to wake yourself up for these warnings. Be able to be woken up, because nighttime tornadoes are very scary. And they are a lot more dangerous than daytime, because of course you're asleep. If you can't be woken up, if you don't have a way to be woken up, that can be extremely dangerous for sure. So you do want to have a way to be woken up. Salina all the way through Manhattan. Topeka, you're not in this, but you're just on the edge, so I would be just as prepared there as well. And down into Wichita as well. I think you all were already included in a tornado watch. We still do have a tornado warning on the storm near Dick Worsham, Texas. We do have some rotation there, so you still do want to be in your location as it's a slow-moving storm, but you do want to be in your safe spot as that area of rotation, although broad, moves over Dick Worsham. Alright, let's get these watches off of here. Again, the storm down towards Branson, Texas. Still do have that tornado warning on it right now, but overall the rotation has significantly weakened. Still do want to be in your location, in your safe spot location. Again, most interior room of your home, and in the lowest level of your home, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of that level. And again, that's going to be moving to the east, east-northeasterly direction right now. Again, moving towards Gorman, Texas. Still do want to be in your safe spots because there's the chance of that recycling and seeing the rotation get stronger again. Again, if you're just joining, we're covering this severe weather outbreak from Kansas all the way down into Texas. We have already had tornadoes going on the ground right now, so we're pretty much really in deep to this severe weather outbreak at this point. Started a couple hours ago as we saw storms firing off into northern Texas, southwestern Oklahoma, and now we've seen that move into central Oklahoma. We're starting to see storms into Kansas as well, and we've seen those storms into Texas there as well. And we're still watching the storm down to the southeast of Abilene right now. But overall, the rotation has really lessened on it. We still do have some rotation here near Rising Star. Right in here, so we're going to be having to watch that as well. We are watching these storms up into Kansas as well, as they do have the potential of producing tornadoes here, as well as we're expecting these storms to turn into supercell storms quickly after they fire off. And we do have a little bit of a hook forming on the storm here in southern Kansas, near Coldwater and Aetna, Kansas. I apologize for not saying all these town names right, but looks like Aetna to me, maybe probably wrong. But we do have some rotation on the storm, so we're going to be having to watch this storm closely, as it does look like we have a little bit of an appendage or hook there forming. So again, with these supercell storms, you always have to watch for the threat for tornadoes, and that's what we've been dealing with here for the past couple of hours and are going to be dealing with here in the coming hours with these storms in Kansas. Again, the storm near Coldwater, Kansas is going to be a storm to watch. We still do have that tornado warning continuing for here in the Dick Warsham, Henrietta, Texas. If we look at the rotation, overall very broad. Likely no tornado on the ground, but you still want to be prepared in your safe spots for the possibility of one forming. We have 2 tornado warnings right now, with 2 storms that did have very significant rotation, 2 storms that did produce tornadoes, but that both storms, the rotation relatively quickly diminished. Still do have that broad rotation here to the east of Rising Star, so we're going to be having to watch that towards Gorman, Texas, down towards Duster as well. Again, we're watching the storm near Ada in southern Kansas. We could see some strong rotation develop on this. Still do have this broad rotation on the storm near Dick Warsham, Texas. Going to be moving into Ringgold and Belcherville, as well as Nocana, Texas. And we still do have the storm down towards Abilene, pretty much pretty far to the southeast of Abilene at this point. And we have seen the extension of that tornado warning with radar indicated rotation here. Pretty broad rotation, but that's going to be moving into Duster, as well as De Leon, as well as Downing, and what appears to be Rucker, Texas. So Rucker, Gorman, De Leon, Duster, and Downing, Texas. You want to be in your safe spots right now, as you have come under a tornado warning with a storm that has a history of producing tornadoes and could very well again produce one. Alright, we do have a new tornado warning here into western Oklahoma. This is radar indicator rotation, tornado, and baseball-sized hail with this storm. If we do look at our rotation right now, if we can pick out an area of rotation, looks like we've got one right in there. That's where we're watching for the rotation. Chester, over towards Orion, there into northwestern Oklahoma, not in the panhandle, outside the panhandle, but still there into northwestern Oklahoma. This storm is going to pack a punch with hail and that possibility of dropping down a tornado. Alright, it does look like the storm has a funnel cloud on it right now. Watching a live stream of it actually right now. And there's a funnel cloud on this storm. It's Woodward County, I think. Let me make sure. No, this is different. Yeah, Woodward County. Funnel cloud actually on the storm right now, moving into Chester. You need to be in your safe spots right now. This storm can produce a tornado at any minute as there's a funnel cloud on it right now. Here's the area of rotation to the northwest of Chester. It's going to be moving just north of Chester. You're going to be in your safe spots right now, lowest level of your home, most interior room of your home, as there's a funnel cloud, possibly a tornado forming here. Imminent. A tornado could be imminent here near Chester and Orion, Oklahoma, and will be eventually moving into Orienta, Fairview, and Clio Springs, Oklahoma. They aren't in the warning yet, but could be added here soon. As we do have an area of rotation inside of this kind of conglomerate of a storm with significant hail and, again, possibility of a tornado, as I'm watching a live stream right now of a storm chaser funnel cloud there right now. So, again, this is going to be moving just north of Chester, moving in that easterly direction. Does look like the area of rotation is more near Mutual, Oklahoma here. Can't really pick out an exact area, but in here we do have an area of rotation that is producing a funnel cloud right now. It does look like it's maybe just to the south or east of Mutual, Texas. And so if you're in Chester right now, you need to be in safe spots. Orion there as well. Lowest level of your home, most interior room of your home, as this storm is very capable of producing a tornado, which it does have a funnel cloud on it right now. Of course, next step after funnel cloud, touching the ground, creating a tornado. So that's going to be something we're watching. We have 2 tornado warnings, so Mutual as well as Chester and Orion. You need to be in your safe spots. Alright, so right now we do have 3 tornado warnings with this complex here of storms, so it's going to be pretty hard to figure out to pick out where the areas of rotation is. But if we look at velocity right now, we could have an area of rotation right here, likely to the northeast of Mutual, Oklahoma. Also one to the west of Chester, and then we're also watching this tornado warning here near Selling, Texas, right here where this appendage is. So a lot of areas we're watching right now for rotation with this conglomerate of storms right now, and these all do appear, yes, to be radar indicated rotation. Right now we've got many storm chasers on this, so if there's a tornado on the ground, we'll likely see that, although it does look like it could be raindrops, so we'll be having to watch that as well. Again, 3 tornado warnings if you're in Sealing, Oklahoma, it looks like that's how you say that, into Longdale, Homestead, Oklahoma, into Fairview, Orienta, Clio Springs, here, Orion, Chester, Mutual, in points to the east. You do need to be in your safe spots, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of your home. If I zoom out, again, this is to the southeast of Woodward, Oklahoma, to the northwest of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And it looks like that tornado did maybe get on the ground, but it was struggling to get on the ground. And this is what we're watching right now. We also do have an area of rotation here, and that's going to be to the southwest of Wichita, Kansas, and that's on a storm that is not tornado warned, but could be, as we do have that appendage right there, that a little dangly bit, some call it, right there, near Etna. I don't know if that's how you say it exactly. I apologize, correct me if I'm wrong, but there in southern Kansas, we do have that area of rotation right in there, so we're going to be watching if we do get a tornado warning on that. I would still get in your safe spots just for good measure, as there is an area of rotation right in there. And again, this storm down here does have multiple areas of rotation. Right there, we've got one, and it's hard to pick out the others because they're not very pronounced, which is good. But we're also going to be having to watch this. If there's a tornado on the ground right now, within these tornado warnings, again, we have a lot of them, could also have an area of rotation down there where that appendage is. But if there's a tornado on this, it's likely going to be raindrops. There's a lot of rain, hail falling right now. So again, if you're in Chester, Orion, Sealing, over towards Longdale, Fairview, Orienta, Clio Springs, you want to be in your safe spots right now, most interior room of your home, lowest level of your home. So lowest level of your home, most interior room of that home. And of course, this storm, even if we're not going to see tornadoes, which I think we already did have a tornado report, at least very close to that with a funnel cloud report, we are going to see very large hail with this for sure. Very large hail. Again, this is the storm that we're watching right now. If we look at velocity, correlation coefficient, not seeing really anything, of course. Not very pronounced area of rotation, but we do see one right here north of Chester. That's one we've been watching. And we did see an area of rotation near Mutual about 10-20 minutes ago. So, again, this whole area we're watching for areas of rotation, three tornado warnings right now. If you're in those tornado warnings, again, you need to be in your safe spots. Again, multiple areas of rotation right now within this one storm. Okay, it looks like we did have a tornado on the ground near Mutual, Oklahoma, but it looks like that has since then lifted, though it's still a possibility that could be on the ground or it could go on the ground again. Okay, it has lifted. Again, we have those 3 tornado warnings. If you're anywhere in those tornado warnings, you need to seek shelter, take cover, and be in your safe spot for sure. You need to be in your safe spot if you're under any tornado warnings, especially any of those tornado warnings, as that storm does have a history of producing a tornado. Thankfully, it has lifted, but could go back down. Checking on these storms down into Texas, we do not seem to have more circulation on these, which is very good news. And we haven't seen really any new storms form. Overall, the current situation in Oklahoma City looking pretty good for y'all there in Oklahoma City down into Norman. These storms behind the line don't really look to getting their act together, as that environment is not the best. But right now, we're going to be having to watch these storms to the northwest of Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, Norman, Moore area, and not totally out of the clear. But overall, that main round we were talking about this morning, even into midday, yesterday, about really packing punch with hail and tornadoes, hasn't really materialized. Could we still have a couple storms coming through? That's possible. So you're not totally out of clear, but the big thing is that hasn't materialized. So that's very good news, but still can't let your guard down, and you're not just out of clear just yet. Again, we have an increasing tornado potential with these storms here. And we do have some increasing rotation, it does look like, with this storm. Right here with this kind of hook right here. We do have some rotation right in here north of Chester. Again, it's going to be moving towards Oriento, Clio Springs, Oklahoma, Fairview, Oklahoma, and then that southern tornado warning, Longdale, Homestead, Oklahoma there as well. And if we watch a replay of these storms, it looks like we could have these 2 cells that were really one big cell. It looks like they could merge a little bit here, and that could increase the tornado probability. We'll be watching that closely. If I was in OK, I wouldn't get too comfortable yet. Yeah, absolutely. Just in the Oklahoma City metro, it looks like they've dodged a bullet so far. Still, again, like I was saying, not out of the clear. All right, confirmed tornado. Weather spotters confirmed tornado here on that storm north of Chester, Oklahoma. So if you are just north of Chester, Oklahoma, here into Orion, Oklahoma here as well, we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground right now. Here's that broad area of circulation, but We do have a tornado on the ground. That's the important detail we're watching here. So if you're north of Chester and Orion, Oklahoma, and this is going to be heading all the way over towards Orienta, Clio Springs here in the next 30 minutes, probably more like 45 minutes to an hour. But in between those areas, that's where we're going to be having to watch in this rural area of northwestern Oklahoma for this tornado to come through. Again, this is a weather spotter confirmed tornado. Again, this tornado warning will be into western, major, and east central Woodward counties. And this is a confirmed tornado. Right here's where that hook is, and that's going to be moving towards Clio Springs and Orienta, Oklahoma here into western Major County, Oklahoma. And there's where we kind of have that hook appendage right there in this storm. If we go to 2 panels here, all right. We do have that rotation right in there, looking pretty broad, but we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground right now. According to the National Weather Service, weather spotter confirmed tornado. And again, the severe weather outbreak is not even close to done, as we're expecting these storms to, in the coming hours, into the overnight hours, to move into the Ozarks region. Again, that's where that rotation is. And again, that's going to be moving to the north of Chester, Oklahoma, all the way towards Clio Springs, Orienta. You aren't in that warning yet, but you could be added here soon. Moving at 40 miles an hour. So not an overall very fast moving storm. But still, we need to watch this if we're in Orienta and Clio Springs, because there is strong rotation and confirmed by weather spotters tornado on the ground. Confirmed by weather spotters. Again, here's that hook, and that's going to be heading into areas to the west of Orienta and Clio Springs, Oklahoma. They're in western Major County there in Oklahoma, northwestern Oklahoma, western Major and east central Woodward counties. And a very pronounced hook right in here. And if we look at that rotation, it's not the greatest, not the prettiest signature here for sure, but we definitely do have the rotation with this confirmed tornado going on and off on the ground. I don't think it has been on the ground this entire time, but a best bet is that it is on the ground, as this was confirmed by weather spotters. And this is for western Major County and into east central Woodward County. We do have this tornado warning here. That was the wrong radar, I think. We do still have this tornado warning with this storm south of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this will be a storm definitely to continue to watch as it moves to the northeast, as we continue to see the low-level jet really ramp up here. Again, there's that hook, and there's where we're seeing that rotation. Again, it's not the prettiest rotation signature right there, but definitely got something there with confirmed tornado, of course, by weather spotters. And then we do still have those two radar indicator rotation tornado warnings. So if you're in Fairview, Orienta down to Fairview, all the way down to O'Keene, you need to be in your safe spots right now there to the southeast of Woodward, Oklahoma. Does look like that rotation is broadening out there, which is very good news. That is for sure some good news with this storm, but still going to have to watch that, see if it can recycle as it gets towards Clio Springs, closer to Clio Springs and the Orienta area. But still do have those tornado warnings as well. Overall, though, the rotation on those storms has lessened a bit. We still do have a tornado warning down here near De Leon, Texas, and it does look like that storm has strengthened just a bit. Let's watch this. Tornado has moved out of the warned area, therefore the warning has been canceled. Let's see here. Yes, so it does look like that warning was canceled. Still do need to watch this storm as it has a history of producing tornadoes. This storm down here along the border of Texas and Oklahoma is also one we're going to want to watch here. So it does have a little bit of a hook on it. It appeared so. Yes. All right, and then right there, that's where we do have the rotation right now, and right as I speak, there's another tornado warning right now with they're associated with that, of course, rotation. When we see that red winds going away from the radar, greens winds going towards the radar, right in there is where we have that rotation that's going to be moving to the east, northeast towards Courtney, as well as Leon, Oklahoma there, as along the Red River. So that's where we have that rotation that's tightening near north of Nocona, Belcherville, as well as north of Bonita. That's where we need to be in our safe spots right now. Or again, Courtney, Leon, Oklahoma, safe spots, lowest level of your home, most interior room of your home. So we're watching this storm as well as this storm complex that has a history of producing a tornado. Although it does look like the overall rotation with this storm has kind of broadened out, as we do see its inflow being cut off or tampered with a little bit by this cell we saw coming in there, merging with it. But once we see this merge, we could see that rotation again. So we're watching this storm very closely, as it has a history of producing a tornado. Still, though, if you are in the tornado warning, doesn't matter if the rotation is broadened out or anything, because it's still possible that it could tighten up back again. We could get a tornado to get on the ground, because we could still have a tornado on the ground. That is possible, as it is a confirmed tornado warning. But again, my main point here is if you're in a tornado warning, you still do need your safe spot. You wait until that tornado warning has expired. So if you're in Cleo Springs, Orienta, you still do want to be in your safe spots here as well. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. So this warning down here in Fairview has actually been canceled, but these two tornado warnings have overlapped. Is canceled. Okay, so these two tornado warnings actually have canceled. So if you're in Cleo Springs, Orienta, we're still watching this storm that has a history of producing a tornado, but these two red boxes right in here have been canceled. This one, purple, of course, confirmed tornado warning, remains in effect. Again, southeastern Woods County, western Major, mainly western Major at this point, and then eastern Woodward counties. We're watching this storm right now into Major and into eastern Woodward County. Again, this is going to be moving towards Cleo Springs and the Orienta area. Yeah, I got a question. What does tomorrow look like? We do have another threat for tornadoes tomorrow, although more localized from the St. Louis area, which is where I'm located, down to the Paducah, Kentucky area. We also do have a pretty big damaging wind threat. That's what I think will be the strongest threat, as we do see a complex of storms moving through early morning tomorrow through that area. Then we're going to have to see if the environment does recover after that, and more storms to form from that St. Louis area down through Paducah, all the way through Louisville, Cincinnati area, kind of along that Ohio Valley, Mississippi, mid-Mississippi Valley through the Ohio Valley area region is where we're going to be having to watch for damaging wind threat, and of course that more localized, more semi-regional threat for tornadoes from St. Louis down to Paducah. But definitely a good question. Definitely did want to go over that, as we could be ending the stream here soon. We are, again, still watching the storm to the southwest of Ardmore, and we do have a pretty pronounced hook on the storm. There's that rotation right there. Green is when it's going towards the radar, red is when it's going away from the radar, and right in there where you see that kind of green swirly thing done by the radar AI, that's where we are seeing the threat for a possible tornado, and that's a pretty pronounced hook. That's pretty pronounced rotation as well. So if you're in Courtney or Leon, Oklahoma, right there along, I think, the Red River. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the Red River there. You do want to be in your safe spot right now. You want to be on the lowest level of home and in the most interior room of that level. Go indoors, seek shelter, and take cover, as we do have a strengthening area of rotation, meaning we could have a tornado on the ground any minute now here on the storm to the southwest of Ardmore. And again, we do have an intense hailstorm still here into southern Kansas here. Sorry, I just didn't know what state that was for a second. Thought we were still looking at Oklahoma here. But again, this is a pretty strong hailstorm. Got significant hail in this. This is going to be moving into Hazleton, Kansas here, with significant hail, and we could see the possibility of a tornado on that storm as well. Do you think the environment will cover for tomorrow? You're going to have to specify if that's for today or for tomorrow. I think you're asking for tomorrow. So if you are talking about tomorrow, I think we will likely will see it recover, and then that second batch of storms, so that first batch coming into the St. Louis area around 5-6, and then going down towards Paducah as we get more towards mid-morning into around noontime. And then after that, we're likely going to see the environment recover, more storms coming through. But it's not the type of day that's gonna support more supercell storms. I think we'll more see clusters of storms capable of producing some significant damaging winds. But I'll have more on that tomorrow as well. And still do have this tornado warning here. Confirmed tornado warning has been canceled. Alright, let me make sure that's the right warning there. Tornado warning has been canceled, so let me just make sure. Has been canceled. So all those tornado warnings thankfully have been canceled. We've seen the rotation really weaken, which has been a pretty common theme these last couple of hours. So this storm complex at this point is only flash flood warning warned, and as well as severe thunderstorm warned. So you want to watch for flash flooding, as well as really packing punch with hail, damaging winds. You want to be still indoors and away from windows. And we're going to go check on the storm down here, again, along the Oklahoma-Texas border. And again, that tornado warning still exists for Courtney and Leon there in Oklahoma along the border. And we're going to be seeing some pretty tight rotation. But I will likely be ending the stream here soon. Still make sure you stay weather aware for the rest of the night. If you're looking at these tornado warnings, you're like, Becca, why are you ending the stream so soon? Like I just mentioned, all those tornado warnings were just canceled. So I'm going to end the stream. Still stay weather aware until, of course, those tornado watches are expired. Stay weather aware. Have ways to get warnings, especially here into the Ozarks there, into northeastern Oklahoma, southwestern Missouri, as well as southeastern Kansas there. That's where you really need to be weather aware tonight. Have ways to wake you up. This is very important because tornadoes at night, very, very dangerous. You want a way to wake yourself up so you can get prepared, get to your safe spot, and have time to get to your safe spot before it is too late. So be prepared. Then moving on into Sunday tomorrow, we are expecting an early morning round of storms to come into St. Louis. So I'll set my alarm clock for early tomorrow morning to be prepared for that. Likely stay tuned for some updates. And then that's going to push down into the south towards Paducah, Kentucky, Carbondale, Illinois. And then after that, into the afternoon and evening, we're likely going to see the environment recover a bit and likely going to see some more storms form in that area all the way through the Ohio Valley towards Louisville, Kentucky. So, again, stay prepared tonight, especially in that Ozarks region where that tornado potential is going to be pretty high. Oklahoma City, it looks like you guys are pretty much looking good for right now. Still could have maybe a couple more storms coming through, though they do look weaker. So, dodged a bullet definitely in Oklahoma, but still a long night ahead. Make sure you are prepared. I will see you tomorrow.